Christmas and a Happy New Year. A Merry 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 Christmas and a Happy New Year. And a Happy New Year. And a Happy New Year.
Hey freaks, it's Friday, December 7th, 2018. Coming up on the program today, Quaker Oats Erotica. Plus, why is Wilford Birmley always so angry? Pushing in your child's butthole, and Elf on the Shelf was brutally murdered. All this was your voicemails today on DV.
It's the Distorted View Show with Tim Henson.
How did we get to that?
Yeah, Tim Henson back here with you one more time as we end the week with the Friday show. Got a great program for you. I was on Twitter earlier this week, and I was just being stupid. I thought of a little contest. I was ready to give out a $50 Amazon gift card as a prize for this. And the contest was simple. Just go out on the internet and find me a sex story that involves the Quaker Oats man. Oh, I could just eat him up with a spoon. And maybe a little bit of brown sugar. I can't be the only one who wants to fuck the Quaker Oats man with that powdered wig and his floppy hat and that little frumpy bunched up collar / neckerchief. We could use that as a cum rag. Oh, my mind is wandering to all sorts of filthy places. Do me, Quaker Oats man. Do me. I just imagine, like, sometimes we'll have long love-making sessions. Really let them oats simmer. Other times, I just need it fast and hard. That's when I'm like, hey, Quaker Oats man, how about some instant oatmeal? And you know his dick is all stinky because he's like, I don't know, a colonial dude or something. Those people never showered. Stinky, rank sex with the Quaker Oats man. Anyway, a millisecond before I clicked that send button to submit my tweet, I said, you know what? This is the internet. I don't want this challenge to be too easy. I better just do a cursory Google search. I don't want, me to just be able to type in Quaker Oats man sex and have a bunch of stuff pop up. There's no challenge there for you guys. And sure enough, I'm not the first person to think of Quaker Oats erotica. Don't believe me? I have one here for you right now. Can I get some sexy colonial music?
Hear ye, hear ye. Now introducing Ye Old Sextastic Friday. Oh, mama. On Distorted View.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a poorly written story or if the author is just using language that would have been appropriate in the 16 or 1700s or whatever. Either way, most of the time I don't quite understand what's going on here. All right. A young pioneer, graceful in his looks as he walks swiftly to his cottage, period. Like, you'd think there would be more to that sentence. Anyway, an admirer from afar, across the road on the tavern, keeps a close eye on him as he enters his house. Around this time, the hawk skins his leathers and his wrist. Like, what does that mean? The hawk skins his leathers. Like, did he take off his pants? Anyway, he has had a crush on the man for a while. Crush, I'm sure, was a term used in, pioneer days. All right, at this time, the man had better plans in his house. According to the Quartering Act, a group of sexy, hulking, stubby white males followed soon after. All right, so the guy goes into his house, a bunch of other dudes follow him. I mean, this is Sextastic Friday. You know what's about to happen. An old-fashioned New World gangbang. The man couldn't handle his urges to hold back a boner, yet he pops one thinking of it. He takes the leather and wanders to the window, probably wanders, peeking from the outside. The trail wanderer sits down on the couch. He is have and pleasant. He grabs a pillow and begins to lay it over his lap. The observer leans in closer for the nice shot of his face. A face of a god, the man thought in the thrill. He couldn't stop throbbing from the thought of the man. The dwarfs carelessly... What? Dwarfs? Certainly sounds like a Sextastic Tuesday story now. All right, the dwarfs carelessly sit next to the man, giving each other a strict look. The sir, breaching the privacy, throws himself into the bushes. So there's like... What I don't like about this story is everyone is man, right? The guy looking into the window is just known as man. The guy in the house is man. It gets confusing, right? All right, so the guy's looking in. He throws himself into the bushes, listening for their annual gangbang session. What? It was a sight for anyone of the town. Like the men don't care that it is projected. They call him Quaker Oat, the man who can turn butter better than a homosexual prostitute. Which is a compliment, I think. Isn't the term churn butter? Whatever. He is said to lick cauldrons clean. I think that means ass. Dirty, black, coal-filled cauldrons, if you know what I mean. So I guess the guy who's doing the eavesdropping is the one who is the Quaker Oats man, because they refer to him later as the Oats model. He's the world's first supermodel. Yeah, I did some work for Quaker Oats. So again, it's very hard to follow this story, but as this man is eavesdropping, he pulls his pants down, getting ready to masturbate. But people from the town see him looking into the house. Like, who's that asshole masturbating, pressing his dick up against a brick house, right? So these guys quietly surround the man who's not paying any attention, right? Everyone's getting ready for a good old-fashioned town raping. We'll show this guy to masturbate in public. So the town got ready and concluded with their pants down. Will y'all just fuck already? Screamed out a peasant bare naked as he fiddled with his own dick. And then all hell breaks loose in this story. I don't know if the dwarves caught what was going on, but they come running outside. They're hopping on other dudes' dicks. Quaker Oats slings the tallest dwarf to his dick, moistening it. Like, what does that mean? One had accepted the suck. You gotta accept the suck. What a way to say receive a blowjob. I like old-timey talk. I shall now receive your suck. Go forth. Reminds me of that preacher who doesn't know that the word snatch is used when talking about pussy.
Don't miss the great snatch.
I would hate to miss that.
But I happen to prefer the snatch.
I think what he's talking about here is like Jesus, when you die, snatching you up and bringing you to heaven.
There's one thing that all of us should be aiming for, and that is the snatch.
I know a lot of you freaks have made it your life goal.
So don't miss that snatch.
Well, sometimes you just know it's around. There's an odor. Back to the story. We're going to end it. Because, I don't know what the hell's going on. I think Quaker Carl has his hands firmly on his crotch as he thrusts and tears his boxers off, revealing his schlong. Every man trembled but was aroused, surrounding the window. The rubbing session turned into a group project as a circle of men crowded Quaker Oats, just like Whoville. As the kids and adults gathered and swayed, manhandling each other. You remember that scene? The circle jerk scene from The Grinch. The rich, stiff cocks being juggled by all the men. Some go to the back as we was groaning. Well, that is not old-timey talk. That's just poor grammar. The dwarfs back up, but the others went for the other side, giving him a rim job. I think they're giving the Quaker Oats man a rim job.
It's the right thing to do.
It's always appreciated. When you receive a rim job, you know that person really likes you. Right, Wilford Brimley?
Not too expensive either.
Wilford likes to keep up on the prices of rim jobs. He watches that like some watch the stock market. Do prostitutes ever give rim jobs? Like that to me would be a pricey add-on. Like if I was a prostitute, I'd be like, yeah, if you want to give me a rim job, I guess I can throw that in for free. But if you want my tongue anywhere near that area, you're going to have to cough up some extra cash. I would think that it would be even more than anal. Because that's your tongue, man. It's like eating feces if things go south. Nasty. So that was some Quaker AIDS. That was some Quaker AIDS porn. There's a mashup for you. That is not part of a well-balanced breakfast. A steaming bowl of apple cinnamon AIDS.
Try new peanut butter AIDS.
AIDS gives me that energy boost to start my day. You heard Wilford Brimley. He used to be the spokesman for Quaker Oats.
Diabetes, 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 diabetes testing supplies.
Yes, that Wilford Brimley. One-time Quaker AIDS. Why do I keep saying Quaker AIDS? I've got AIDS on my mind. One-time Quaker Oats spokesman. Now he's just rocking type 2 diabetes. Anyway, not to get off on too much of a tangent here, but in the 80s and 90s, Wilford Brimley was the spokesman for Quaker Oats. He would do these television ads. And the thing about it that I always noticed was he was very combative, grumpy, and gruff. He wasn't so much selling you on Quaker Oats as he was like lecturing you in that old man way. These ads started in the 80s and he just got angrier, right? Like by the time 1992 rolled around, I think that was like the last year Wilford Brimley was doing these commercials. He was almost screaming at you. Here's a commercial from the 80s.
What I do now is I take a real brisk walk each morning. Doctors are figuring out it's better for you than jogging. And I'll tell you something else they're just figuring out. Oatmeal is even better for you than you thought.
That's a very old man way of talking, right? I'm cold outside, and I'll tell you something else. My nuts are freezing. It's like, you're already telling me something. You don't have to then in the middle say, I'll tell you something else. You can just say the thing. I'm already hostage to this conversation I'm in with you. Or I don't get to speak. You just talk at me. All right, and then, so he's walking, and then he sees, Wilford Brimley sees a sign at a cafe that says, oatmeal served here, which is a sign that's never been posted anywhere. It's like going to a restaurant and seeing a sign advertising bread. Apparently people eat a lot of this shit. We had no idea why our sales were so low. Apparently bread and bread-related products make up a large portion of the meals people are buying. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump on the bread train. Bread, toast, buns. We're going all in on bread at Tim's Diner. All right, so here Wilford is pointing out that there's oatmeal being sold at this cafe.
You see the sign? Word's getting out. The sign wasn't there yesterday, but it's there now, and there'll be more of them tomorrow.
Okay, Wilford. There's also another commercial where he, I don't know, is upset because children don't pick up pennies anymore. When I was a kid, I would pick up a nickel and pennies. Now kids just leave them.
I didn't turn up my nose at pennies either. Today, some folks won't even bend to pick them up.
Yeah.
Well, here's a bowl of steaming Quaker oatmeal. And I can't think of a healthier way to start the day. Cost you 1 nickel and 4 pennies.
You do the math, asshole.
So if you can't be bothered with nickels and pennies, throw them in a jar. Start an oatmeal fund.
Wilford Brimley, financial advisor. I mean, I guess that's just, how Wilford Brimley talks. But it always seemed like he wasn't the best spokesman for Quaker Oats. Could have picked someone a little more friendly. All right, we've done like 14 minutes on Quaker Oats. I think I should move on. Boy, did I find a fantastic subreddit. I mean, I'm not the first person who has ever wandered here, but there's like 113,000 subscribers. Oh, it's great. It's called Casual Child Abuse.
Today, my mother killed me.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're in the wrong subreddit. This is Casual Child Abuse. I think you're looking for child homicide. It's easy to get those two confused. Yeah, okay, so casual child abuse. People find and screenshot mostly Facebook posts from bad parents doing things that will probably end up harming their kids. And you know me, I hate children, so I find all of these posts hilarious. Here is my current favorite post. This was posted on Facebook to a mommies group. Trigger warning, disturbing. Mommies, my son has a prolapsed rectum. I tried pushing it back in. Warm compresses, cold compresses, and lube. It feels very resistant. It's like that asshole wants to be out and proud, swaying in the wind. Like those inflatable tube people flapping around in car dealerships. All right, yes, it feels very resistant. It's hard. You can't push that butthole back in. I tried calling his on-call, who did not answer. And I've tried the nearby hospital to get advice, so naturally the next step is Facebook, not the ER. We're going to get on social media. Really try to get a consensus. Maybe I'll set up a poll. What should I do? All right, I don't know if this is hospital-worthy. Your son's asshole is hanging out of his body. Red and slimy butt guts. Protruding out for inches and inches. Well, now I don't know what to call today's episode of Distorted View Daily. I was going to go with Quaker AIDS, but then came along red and slimy butt guts. My instinct, of course, is to go with that one. All right. I don't know if this is hospital-worthy or doctor-worthy tomorrow. Yeah, give it a week. See if, his butt sucks itself back up in his body. Picture in the comments. Thank you. Like, we can all imagine what a prolapsed anus looks like. You don't need to provide a picture there. I don't actually see the picture, thank God. The first comment, though, has been captured, and that comment is, "What the actual fuck is wrong with you? Go to the ER." They didn't even bother to use punctuation or capitalize anything. It was one run-on sentence because they really want you to just go to the ER. What the actual fuck is wrong with you? Go to the ER! That's how I would say it, too. Here's a proud mother of a 2-month-old baby. 2 months. The baby's weeks old. I'm proud to have a happy, healthy, vegan 2-month baby. Forget formula and breast milk. Natural fruit smoothies for an unvaccinated baby. Yeah, there's a lot of anti-vaxxers in those mommy groups. Here's another one. Hey, if your kid turns out to be bi or gay or what they want to call it, keep them away from my 2 kids. My kids will not be allowed. ALOUD. Allowed! Like that. Like they're going to be very quiet about it. My kids will not be allowed to even breathe around people like that. It's wrong. And I don't want your kids' bad influence around them. And if my kids think they want to be like that, I will beat their asses. But she put bet because she can't spell. I will beat their asses until they turn straight again. I ain't playing. I am being for real. The first comment is also from this person who says, I'll let CPS know. Under my roof, my kids won't be allowed to be thinking they are fucking gay. Yeah, I'm sure CPS, that's Child Protective Services, would be very interested. Now you feel that way. You should contact them ASAP. Couple more here. I need some serious help from any other mamas who might have gone through the same thing. My 4-year-old is potty trained. He has his own room, and he knows how to open the door and go use the bathroom. As a matter of fact, he does it all the time during the day. But for some reason, during the night/early morning, instead of getting up and opening the door to go to use the bathroom, he just pees on the floor. Everywhere. The floor is soaking wet every morning. I've even caught him doing it red-handed. I've tried everything. Herein lies the problem. Some of her methods are questionable at best. I've tried everything. Timeout, spankings, grounding from certain TV shows, no water at night, rubbing his nose in it, and then she knows that was not the right thing to do because she goes on to say yeah, I did it. If you don't like it, scroll on. I don't need anyone judging my parenting as I'm a damn good mom. Your piss-soaked child's face indicates otherwise. And then she's like, he's ruining his bedroom floor and constantly smells like pee. And it's like, yeah, you dunked his head in it. It ends up being more work for the mother to do that because then you got to clean the kid's face and probably hair. I'll let you guys check out the rest. There's one more. Remember recently on the show we played a clip of Dr. Phil and that woman who was selling Jilly Juice which is some sort of like fermented, rotting cabbage juice. It's like cabbage juice and a bunch of salt. You end up getting diarrhea, puking your guts out, you're dehydrated, but it's supposed to be a miracle cure-all. Like, there were like, some of these people that took the Jilly Juice ended up on dialysis and shit. I don't know if it's killed anyone yet, but it's close. Well, one mommy is giving her child this concoction. I gave my toddler 5 milliliters of the juice on Sunday, and about 6 hours later, she vomited. I gave her 5 milliliters again last night, and she vomited again about 6 hours later. Should I continue? First reply, yes. You need to keep giving it to the one puking, because that has something fighting back. There's a presence inside of her. Evil. It's like an exorcism, right? It gets worse before it gets better. He won't puke forever, only until he dies. That's when the puking stops. No, he won't puke forever, only until that bug is cleared out. Sounds to me like he needs it the most. Oh my God, and one more. I promise this is it. Does anybody else go vaccination free with their kids? That's not the worst part, though, right? I don't want them ingesting toxins. And then here's the very next line. I also want to start them on urine therapy soon, but only if they want to. She's not a monster, after all. The first comment, yep, 2 super healthy vax-free boys. I've used urine on them for a wart on his foot, which worked out awesome, but I have not managed to convince them to drink it yet. At least, you know, I guess they're not pushing the kids to drink piss. We've lowered the bar, so, like, that's what's considered a good parent now. You're not forcing your kid to drink urine. All right, and with that, let's get into the crazy, bizarre twist and the fucked up news right now. If you want to help make sure that Distorted View Daily continues, sign up and become a member of The Sideshow. That's our member site, where you get full access to the entire archive of programs, well over 3,000 shows at this point. Plus, every week we do exclusive material. Yesterday's show was exclusive. Tuesday's program was another Sideshow exclusive podcast. Memberships are very inexpensive. Now they're even less. We've got some holiday deals. Go to superfreaksideshow.com. We've got deals on monthly and yearly memberships. There are also quarterly, semi-annual, and lifetime memberships available. Check out superfreaksideshow.com. Other ways to support the show, patreon.com/distortedview. You can pledge a few dollars to our Patreon account. And finally, we've got brand new merchandise in the Distorted View store. You better act now if you want your items before Christmas. Now, I'm talking about people who live here in the United States. I'm not sure how long it takes to ship to other countries. So I'm not even going to attempt to let you know when you're supposed to order by. The sooner the better. But I will say, if you're ordering here in the United States, you should do that relatively quickly, by the 11th. So just a few days left. That's if you pick like standard shipping. If you want express, you got a few more days. That, of course, costs more. So I would say, you know, order now. Order a lot of stuff and order right now. Great prices on T-shirts. We've got winter hats, hoodies, both zip-up and pullover, Christmas ornaments. Check it out. Store.distortedview.com. A lot of new designs and returning favorites and a lot of new varieties in the color of T-shirts. Something for everyone. Store.distortedview.com. Okay, 3 very quick stories, then we'll get the hell out of here. First up, a deranged teacher in California, my favorite kind of teacher, cut a student's hair while dramatically shouting the national anthem. Of course, one of the kids whipped out his or her cell phone and captured this, so I've got the audio here. I don't know what point she was trying to make.
Next.
So the kid was sitting down on a stool in the front of the class, and she cut off a big chunk of his hair. And now the teacher's screaming. I thought maybe the kid was like a willing participant. But then the rest of the class, they don't seem very excited about this exercise.
Next. I'm not done. Next. Then I pick you out. Oh, no. Don't touch me. No.
Yeah, she's actually going to the kids now because none of the kids would, volunteer.
This? Oh, Miss G.
Okay.
Miss G. Or the parts we want.
Yeah, the children were fleeing. They ran outside to safety. What's so proudly we hail? That was the off-key and inaccurate rendition of the national anthem that Margaret Geisinger, 52, belted out in the frightening footage while standing behind a student at University Preparatory High School, roughly 40 miles south of Fresno, California on Wednesday. By the twilight's last streaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars. Geisinger then tossed what appeared to be a snippet of a male student's hair over her shoulder before diving back into her non sequitur rant. Then she, wanted another student to come forward. The bizarre footage then ends as Geisinger, who taught science at the school, continues shouting the anthem while children ran out of the classroom. Geisinger was arrested on suspicion of corporal injury to a child following the incident. She's since been removed from the classroom and will not return following the disturbing behavior shown on the video. That's according to a spokesman for the County Office of Education. To support all students on the UPHS campus today, we've set up counselors from our mental health services program. I mean, come on, it wasn't that traumatizing. Geisinger will be replaced by a substitute teacher for the remainder of the semester. District officials declined to provide additional context to the video, including what immediately preceded the footage and why Geisinger was holding scissors at the time. At this time, we can't discuss further the details of this matter out of respect for due process, student privacy rights, employee privacy rights, and law enforcement's ongoing investigation. That's according to a statement. Geisinger's teaching credentials were previously suspended on 2 occasions. 3 strikes, she's out. Most recently in 2016. Apparently in that incident, she set a student on fire while singing Yankee Doodle Dandy. No, I don't know. There was no information about why she was suspended those 2 previous times. So there you go. That's what's happening in California. No! Bad Phantom Planet. They're sitting in the corner next to Daniel Powder, as a matter of fact. Just waiting for me to say California. No! I have to spray them with a water bottle. Down! Second story we have for you today. This one just happens to come from our most fucked up state. Say it with me.
Our most fucked up state.
If you're a Florida resident or you just enjoy the state's antics, Florida, our most fucked up state t-shirts are available in the Distorted View store. Oh, second store plug of the day. Feeling good. Shameless self-promotion. Fork over that cash. I need that cash. All right. A Florida man was arrested after he allegedly stole 2 pairs of sneakers from a department store mere minutes after interviewing for a job there. I bet you he realized the interview didn't go well. He took the sneakers as, a parting gift. Even losers on, The Price is Right get a little something to take home, usually rice-a-roni. Members of Contestants Row not appearing on the show will receive Lee Press-On Nails, rice-a-roni, the San Francisco treat, and some empty Amazon boxes we have in the back. Now let's get back to the show and watch real contestants win cars and shit, tens of thousands of dollars. Enjoy that microwavable rice, assholes. So you guys know, Contestants Row is, at the beginning of the show when they're like, Jeanette Wilson, come on down. Brad Montgomery, come on down. And they all, the 5 people sit, 5 or 6 people or whatever, sit and they have to all bid, and the person who wins gets to play the game. Well, those 5 or 6 people, those are the members of Contestants Row. Even though they kind of appeared on the show for a short amount of time, they didn't get to go up and play the big games or spin the wheel or anything. Those are the people who get the consolation prizes of Lee Press-On Nails and rice-a-roni, and I just feel like there's got to be a middle ground. You're giving away, $30,000 cars or RVs or whatever. On the flip side, you're giving out Vienna sausages to people who, 30 minutes ago thought their lives were going to change, right? You hear your name up there, Tim Henson, come on down. Oh my God, I'm on TV. I get to play The Price is Right. This is the coolest thing to ever happen to me. But that feeling is short-lived. Because when Drew goes, all right, first item up for bid is a stunning princess cut 24-karat bracelet. Exquisite craftsmanship from Nick Marquet Jewelers in California. 24-karat goldium. Diamondique jewels. Huge-ass blood diamonds. And tinfoil make up this stunning piece. Drew? And you're like, what? What was that? Goldium, not gold? Can't quite tell if this is a piece of shit or not. It's made with tinfoil, but also blood diamonds. Those are expensive. Diamondique? I don't know what I heard. That's why people are always like, all right, Drew, I'll bid $6,500. All right, Mitchell? I don't know, $80? It's impossible to guess, right? Especially because they really do use inflated, manufactured, suggested retail prices. I've seen, where they've offered computers. The first item up for bid is, a Dell shitty-ass, netbook from 2006. Next item up for bid. This Packard Bell Executive 386SX computer with 16 megabytes of RAM and 80 megabyte hard drive capable of storing multiple text files. You'll be getting your work done faster and smarter with the pre-installed OS2 Warp operating system, 1200 baud modem, and Oki Data dot matrix printer. This baby's not just for work, though. With an eye-watering palette of 16 colors, you'll think you're looking at real life. Back to you, Drew, who took over The Price is Right in 2007. All right. They end up jacking up the prices. I mean, even if it is a new, Dell laptop, who's ever paid $4,600 for one of those things? I mean, if it was Apple, maybe. This honestly has nothing to do with the news story I am reading you. Let me just get back on track here. Deputies in Hernando County arrested Dominic Breedlove, that's a good name, and charged him with retail theft after the incident Wednesday afternoon at a Kohl's store in Spring Hill, located north of Tampa. 24-year-old Breedlove went into the store shortly after the interview and started looking at a Nike display for women's shoes that did not have security tags. Breedlove left the store and later returned with a bag from a previous trip. A loss prevention officer called the Hernando County Sheriff's Office after seeing Breedlove put the sneakers, worth a combined $150, inside the bag and leaving the store. Deputies arrested Breedlove on the way to his car, where he said that he was just planning to gift the shoes to his mother. You don't understand. She's got cancer. This might be her last Christmas. Sir, I'm gonna jack these shoes for my mama, please. It's Christmas Eve and these shoes are just her style. You know how cancer victims like running shoes for all the jogs they're going on. This woman's on her deathbed. Is she even wearing shoes? She probably just wants a bunch of layers of socks on because it's so cold. That's Death's grip coming to take you away, bitch. You can layer up as much as you want. You can't avoid the inevitable. Merry Christmas to all of you battling cancer this year. Jesus Christ. You know how some people have flare-ups of eczema? I suffer the same thing, but with being an asshole. Sometimes I got it under control, and sometimes I get it. There's a flare-up, All right, so, this guy said he was just planning to gift the shoes to his mom. Breedlove was booked into jail with a $500 bond. Needless to say, he did not get the job at Kohl's, according to the sheriff's office. Final story we have for you today. Let's get back to traumatizing children, all right? A woman claims her daughter was left, literally, traumatized after her elementary school staged an elf murder activity. 8 and 9-year-old students at Flowery Fields Primary School in England arrived in class to discover a crime scene featuring police tape and drops of blood, which were set up as part of a writing exercise. Write about how you lost your innocence. While the school claims students were engaged and excited by the activity, one girl's mom said her daughter has suffered nightmares after participating in it. Grow up, bitch. Not everything is sunshine and flowery fields. You're in the real world now. Elves can be drug addicts too. And if they don't pay their dealer, this is the type of shit that happens. All right, there was a crime scene in one of the classrooms. The idea was Elf had been murdered by another elf. My daughter came home and she was absolutely traumatized, one mother said. She claims other parents said the kids were also unsettled by the nature of the exercise. I'm very open with my children, and I understand you can't protect them from everything, but my child was very upset last night and had to sleep in my bed. The idea of the unusual activity was to have students play detective, looking for clues. Like it had to be a murder. That's the only thing you can come up with. There are other crimes that require detectives that are not so bloody. All right. Like maybe an elf lost his hat or something. Was stolen. The idea of the unusual activity was to have students play detective, looking for clues to identify the suspect, and later playing journalist to write up the story. Ian Fell, head teacher of Flowery Field, said the children were really excited and bought into the murder mystery. Of all the 90 children who took part, none of them showed anything but full engagement, except for the one that was crying in the corner, inconsolable. One of the children said to me, "I'm definitely being a detective when I grow up. I've been a teacher for 30 years, and this is, in my judgment, an appropriate, engaging, and exciting thing that children aged 8 and 9 have done." Like, you didn't have to use blood. You could have just said the elf was murdered. Or maybe like the elf was kidnapped or something. They've been so up for it. I'm really looking forward to see the quality of the outcomes. We are not, like one kid's like, I don't want to be a journalist and I don't want to be a detective. I want to be the murderer. That's what I want to be when I grow up. Seeing that lifeless elf laying in a pool of blood. Sweet crimson pain. I love it. All right. We're not trying to keep this a secret, and we will be tweeting about the rest of our exercise today. So there you go. That, my friends, is your Distorted News for Friday. Let's do a couple voicemails and get the hell out of here. I love to hear from you freaks. Voicemail line for you, 206-666-4463. We do have a special Patreon-only line, and I've got a couple patrons calling in. We'll play their calls first. Other ways to contact me, though, I'm all over social media. I'm at Distorted View on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/Distorted View Show. You know all those ways. All right, let's check in with a couple patrons first.
Hey, Tim, this is some guy in Japan, and I've been doing a lot of really drudge work, really mindless stuff lately.
Me too. It's called recording my podcast.
Listening to a lot of the archives of DV, which are
Can't
wonderful.
think of anything more mindless than this show.
And I noticed something that I was doing that was kind of fucktarded, and I thought you'd get a chuckle out of it. I was listening to 2008 shows, and as I was going along, every now and then I'd run into one that was a best of show. And it would be, best of, and I'd click through it and go to the next show, and then I realized, wait a minute, I'm clicking through best of shows because they're old, but I'm already listening to 10-year-old shows.
That's
Jesus
true.
Christ. Anyway, the point is, the archives are great, and it's like you're there. It's like time travel.
Yeah, you can even hear like differences in my voice, I think.
So anyway,
if
you're not a Sideshow member, join up. If you are a Sideshow member, go download the archives. They're awesome. And since
Go down that archive hole.
He unfortunately doesn't broadcast 24 hours a day, we have to make do with what we have. Bye.
There was a time, remember when webcamming, like not cam whore stuff, but like when webcams were new, there would be people who would set up webcams in their house. Maybe they still do this, I don't know. And just record their lives. Remember Jenny Cam? That was a big one. Some people would have like multiple just cams, you know, like a couple in each of their rooms. And you could just click on whatever room the person's in. You can like, watch them live their life. It was really boring. People, I think Jenny Cam was the most popular because occasionally she would take off her shirt, like her tits would be exposed, but not like in a sexual way. Just like she's just changing clothes. And so horny guys would be waiting around for 23 hours a day, waiting for that one moment where they could see Jenny's tits. I think maybe she had sex a couple times. Like she had a camera in her bedroom, and apparently she went on a date, had a good time, and brought a guy over and fucked him. And, you know, it seems so quaint now. But in the early days of the internet, that's fucking all we had.
Well, hey, Tim. You were, the other day, you played that, the 12 Days of DV again, for this holiday season, and I about lost my shit because I had forgot about your Mrs. Miller voice.
Yeah.
Mrs. Miller. And holy shit, that shit's funny. When you do the little in between the verses before you start up again.
Yeah, I bet you a lot of new listeners don't even know who I'm doing there. So there was like this old singer, Mrs. Miller, and she thought she had a great voice, but it was awful. And people started listening to her music, kind of making fun of her. But she never was in on the joke. She kind of sounds like this, Mrs. Miller. She would like do covers of songs. Like, Monday, ooh, like that. It's been a hard day's night. Oh yeah, this is my favorite. This is her doing Up and Away.
Would you like to ride in my beautiful balloon? Would you like to glide in my beautiful balloon? We can float among the stars together, you and I. Oh, we can fly up and away, my beautiful balloon.
Yeah, that's Mrs. Miller for you.
Before you start up again? Oh, God. I just about lost my shit laughing at that again, Tim. You do great work, my boy. Keep it up.
Well, thank you very much for the call. That is another patron checking in. Here is a standard voicemail now.
I said that People versus Larry Flint is the greatest movie ever made.
I saw People versus Larry Flint in the theater. It was okay. Pretty good. Courtney Love is in it, and she is surprisingly sober-ish. She's tried this a few times, where she's tried to become an actress, and she can't keep it together long enough.
Hey, Tim. I know it's been a long time I haven't called. I'm sorry. But I have a joke for you. And I thought of it, and I thought of you, so I thought I'd call, even though it's been like 2 years. So, it's these two giants, right? Those big fucking giants. They talk to each other, and they're eating people. And so the first giant says to the second giant, he says, hold up, I'm going to eat those two guys, right? So he picks up a gay guy, and he picks up a dude in a wheelchair, and he eats them, right? So the second giant's like, okay, why did you eat those two guys? And the first giant says, well, my mom always told me to eat my fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, got it.
That's it.
I saw that fruit thing coming a mile away. I didn't think of vegetable, though. But that's pretty good. All right, thank you. Not a horrible joke. Not a great joke, either. That is all the time we have on this edition of the show. Want you guys to email me, show@distortedview.com. Distortedview.com is our official website. Voicemail line for you, 206-666-4463. That's 206-66, oh God, as in, oh God.
Well, here's a bowl of steaming Quaker oatmeal.
Spread the distortion, STD. Tell all your friends about the podcast. Don't forget to rate us and review us on iTunes. Guys, thank you so much for a great week of programs. Remember to sign up for the Sideshow if you're not yet a member. I will be back on Monday to do it all over again. Until then, bye, everybody.
Now, when I did have my 7th abortion,
that was the 6th one, by the way.
They all blend together after a certain point.
I mean, I was embarrassed. I didn't want to sit there and go, oh, I'm having another abortion, people.
Why would you write that?
3 more and I get a free 6-inch sub. Woo, woo.